Alright, the next step with these is we need to get them flat on the back, and so it's going to sit on the flask like this. So we need to get it flat on the back and then flat on this side right here. So doesn't have to be perfect. There's a radius right in here, so I can't just really put it flat down on this jaw. So what I'm going to do is raise it up with a couple of parallels there, just enough to kind of clear that radius, and then get it in the vise. Just take those parallels out. Okay, we got a fly cutter mounted in here, and we're just going to use that to flatten it off. Okay, so that's got that side done. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're not even ever going to see that because it's going to be screwed to the back of the flask. So now we've got a nice flat side that we can put in here. We need our parallels again to make up for that radius. And we're just going to do the exact same thing over again on this side. Okay. Alright, so we'll do that exact same thing with the other three. Next thing we've got to do is put 3 holes in here so that we can screw this to our flask. I've got the points set up in my DRO so I can go with just one drill bit. I think I'll swap out and I'll use the bigger one first. The bigger one's going to be used just to make a hole for the head to go to countersink the head a little bit, and then the smaller one will be a through hole for the screw to go through. Okay, now do that to the rest of them. Alright, here's where we are so far. I took these over to the sander and just knocked the flash off the front edge and beveled these edges just a little bit to get the sharp points off. We've got our countersunk holes here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole in the middle here, and that's going to be for a pin that's going to go from the top one into the, we're going to mount them, one on the upper flask half and then one on the bottom, so they'll come together like this. And there's going to be a pin that's going to go through here and line up into here. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole in here that we're going to tap out, that we can put a bolt in, and then that bolt will stick out the bottom and we'll taper it, and then we'll put a hole in this side where it'll line up funk like that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is drill these holes. Okay, so I've got the drill bit in here for we're going to do a 3/8/16 tap. So this is a 5/16 drill bit, which is the right size for that. And I've lined up halfway side to side and roughly halfway front to back. It just has to be kind of close. So, all right, we're going to drill this out. Alright, we're going to do 2 of these, and then the other 2 will have we'll have to have a 3/8 hole put in there. And all I'm doing is I'm just lining up this edge right here on the edge of the vise. That's keeping me lined up so that my next part is pretty much in line, and we'll drill the next one. Okay, now we're going to drill a 3/8 hole in the other two parts for the bolt to slide down into. Alright, that's got those done. Let me get set up to tap these holes. Here's our tap, 3/8/16. We'll put a little Aluma-Tap on it. Set it in there, follow it with the point. Stick it right in there. And here we go. Okay, that's got them tapped. Next thing we've got to do is make our bolts that will go down in there. Alright, I took a 3/8 bolt and I cut off the head. It's now 3 inches long. And I'm going to chuck it in a drill and get on this grinder, and I'm just going to hold it against there and grind a little bit of a taper on it. I'm just kind of being lazy. Okay, then we move over here to the wire brush. Okay, that should do it. It's a little rough, but that should do it for us. Here's the flask alignment pins on the flask. I lost some of the footage, so I'm just going to have to kind of catch you up. But the holes are drilled in here, and just put some sheetrock screws in to hold it. I put this side in first. It's got the pin that we made on the grinder. Just bolted it into here. This pin's threaded, so it went into the threaded hole. Put a nut on top to hold it. And then I marked the center of the flask and lined this up so that it was on here, you know, straight. Screwed it in. Then I used that pin to line up where this one goes on the bottom. Put the screws in that, and that finished it up. And these are, you know, much sturdier than the wood ones, and they look cooler and all that. So I think I'm really going to like them. Thank you for watching this project.